We will do our best to weave together all the highlights. So cheer on your Cardinals as we fight the good fight. Maybe a few surprises, as Red always celebrates with us. We put the finishing touches on this one. Sports Night is next.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sportsnight. I'm Joe Young.
I'm Howie Shapiro. A lot of good stuff to show everyone tonight.
We liked it. We liked that surprise expression after the tie so much. We put it in the intro again. We're gonna maybe slip that in throughout the year.
Could be every
in the spring
one we
when
do.
In the spring when
during
there's
hockey.
no swimming.
During hockey.
Still got it. Yeah, we do have a lot of good stuff to talk about. We've reached the midway point, believe it or not, of the football schedule already, and the Cardinals, unfortunately, still searching for their first win. They've done some good things in each of their 4 games so far, but haven't been able to put enough of them together in a single contest. Last week, their best half of football so far, no question. But then they saw the Bengals run away from them in the second half. Cardinals get a bounce on the opening kick. Watch this one coming right back up the gut at you. Cardinals able to jar the ball free, and it's kicker Adam Kish who gets in there and gets the recovery. Cardinals soccer captain was a football star on Friday night, making several huge special teams plays. Cardinals offense able to take advantage of the great field position. 4th and 1, they get it to a playmaker. Cyril Afaka coming all the way back to the near side, finds some friends to escort him to the end zone. Cardinals' first opening drive score of the season, and they lead 6-0. But Blaine answers just as quickly. They take just 3 plays to go 72 yards. Jamison Niska to Derek Obuya. And that's just too easy for the 30-yard score. Those two were dominant all night. Still in the first, Niska shows off his speed running right. And once he gets to the corner, he is gone. Niska racked up over 275 rushing yards, 76 on that one right there. Still a one-score game at that point. Bengals get a little breathing room midway through the third. Devin Clark with a strong effort from 11 yards out, stretched for the line. Puts Blaine up 21-6. Cardinals respond on their next drive, 4th and short. Sean Washington the third going right up the middle for a dozen, moves the chain, keeps the team fired up. Leads to another passing TD. Aiden Snow this time finding Narudin Muhammad on the right side. His first varsity TD makes it a tight ball game. 21-13 Bengals at the half. The second is all Blaine. And just their third offensive play of Weah showing off his speed and elusiveness again. This is a 40-yard score. He had 108 rushing yards, 99 receiving yards, and he scored twice. Bengals really controlled everything in the second half. Their first 4 possessions all ended in the end zone. Niska again making multiple men miss. That one made it 35-13 in the third. Bengals on their way to a 49-13 win.
They were dominant on the ground, especially in that
almost
second half.
500 yards
especially in that
rushing,
second half.
Almost 700 yards of total offense.
You talked about it, probably the best, I'm going to say the best first half of the year for the Cardinal football squad.
I don't think there's any question.
And it's unfortunate that they couldn't keep that momentum up. But we talked about all the time, it's going to be long. It's a long season, but it's going to be a couple of years of development. Well, and for them to see that positivity in that first half against a team like Blaine, who can score, put points up on the board, I thought that was a positive thing.
Well, and the flip side of the coin is that the second half of the schedule is the new division they're playing in, the Metro Maroon. And there are some beatable teams in that last 4 weeks. They're at Eastview on Friday this week, at Park of Cottage Grove next week, and then they'll come home. And we get to see them again on CTN for the last 2 games against Irondale and Hopkins to close out the schedule. Hopkins, I believe, is the homecoming game.
Correct.
So we look forward to being there, but we hope that the boys can get something done on the road as well. And like I said, game 1 really couldn't run the ball, but moved the ball passing. They spread it around a lot of different pieces. Game 2, they ran the ball a little bit better. Yep. They've defended pretty well in parts of the season. Special teams was huge for them last week in the first half. Everything kind of worked for them in the first half, defense, offense, and special teams. And that's what it's going to take. But I do believe that they have the opportunity.
I do too, and they obviously have to stay healthy. I think that's the important part. And, Coach always kind of credited their off-season workout routine to staying healthy so far this year. So we'll hope it keeps it up.
Well, the tennis team actually finishes their regular season schedule this week. Last week, getting a win against Osseo, 5-2. Top 3 singles, making it look relatively easy. Easton 6-2, 6-1. Lee 6-0, 6-1, and Miller 6-2, 6-2. Severson and Anderson at first doubles get a pretty clean win, 6-0, 6-1. Schneider and Kozluk finished with a 6-3, 6-4 win at third doubles. So 5-2 victory.
Yes, always nice to get the win. Well, the Cardinals were hoping to build off that win, but Thursday's trip to Blaine was a much tougher task. Cardinals have played well this season, and their improvements have clearly shown, but some teams have the skill, the experience, and the depth to keep the Cardinals from mounting a serious challenge. We talked about the tennis team's cancer fundraiser last week. Here's a look at the shirts. It's the brainchild of Cardinal coach Scott Stork. More than 40 teams took part, including both these squads. More than $6,000 raised for cancer research. Once the pregame photo op was over, it was time for teams to battle. Caitlin Easton continues to give them a good start at first singles. She's outmatched, losing 1-6, 0-6. Cards shuffling the deck a little bit. Veronica Kozluk lost 1-6, 1-6 at second singles, but this is sophomore Laura Severson's solid backhand down the line. Return is into the net, but Severson loses 0-6, 0-6. Demaya Kohlenberg serving for the Cardinals at fourth singles. Strong play on the baseline to win this point, but she too falls 0-6, 0-6. Co-captain Melina Lee teamed up with Avery Anderson at first doubles, possibly a section preview. We'll see. Anderson doing most of the work on this point, and it ends in their favor, but Blaine gets the win there too, 1-6, 1-6. Morgan Severson and Tia Miller paired up at second doubles court. There weren't a lot of points like this. Blaine putting it on a tee for the Cardinals, and they take advantage of it. Severson and Miller fall, unfortunately, 2-6, 3-6. Bella Fowler, she's going to be serving for the Cardinals at third doubles. She and Violet Schneider, like all their teammates, have solid points, but not enough. They lose 1-6, 0-6, and Blaine wins 7-0, all in straight sets.
Yeah, and it's tough when you go against those teams that have a little bit more depth, and you need bounces to go your way that do not. Cardinals were hoping, entering this week as their final week of the regular season, a couple of winnable matches for them. It started with a visit from Spring Lake Park this afternoon. And Howie, we were there. We were there. And we saw a pretty solid effort at both first singles and first doubles, unfortunately, in losing efforts. The only win comes from Morgan Severson and Tia Miller at second doubles, winning 6-4, 6-4. Caitlin Easton won the first 2 games in the first set, but then lost 2-6, 4-6. A lot of really long, strong volleys, good baseline play in that one. Melina Lee and Avery Anderson teamed up, and after an 0-6 first set, they battled back to win 7-5 and then lost in the tiebreak 6-10. Kozluk lost 0-6, 0-6 at second singles, and Severson lost 0-6, 1-6 at third singles.
There's a lot of good tennis played today, obviously, and the score maybe didn't indicate it, but a lot of good ground strokes. That first singles match, very impressive with how long some of those volleys went.
Yeah, several that we watched that were 20, 30 or more hits.
Yep.
So it was interesting to see them go that long and it be that common throughout that match. They have their crossover match in the Northwest Suburban on Thursday, and they will finish their regular season hosting De La Salle on Friday. Well, the volleyball team had another busy week with a tournament on Saturday, but it started on Wednesday with a trip to take on the Tornadoes. Anoka had just 3 wins, but they hadn't played any tournaments, so they had far fewer matches overall. They were a game below 500, and the Cardinals felt like this was a division team they matched up pretty well with. Cardinals were heavy underdogs, but they were fired up for this rivalry. They found themselves down big early in the first set, but they stay scrappy. Anoka not able to generate an attack right here. Cardinals take advantage. Great back set for Lauren Pavelko. She pounds it off the block for the point. But the hole just too big. Cardinals can't find their way back out. Smart play in the middle for Mabel Goslin. Directs it around the block. It's the side out for the home squad. They take the first 25-11. Similar story in set 2. You see the score. Cardinals behind by double digits. Solid ace for Adara Yang, but not too many highlights for CR in the second set. Cardinals battle to the bitter end. Set point for Anoka. The Tornadoes turn this one quickly. Perfect setup for Hayden Reeder. from the left side. No chance to return that one. 25-9, and it is 2-0 Anoka. Cardinals trying to avoid the sweep, have their best showing of the night in the third as Area Banks in the middle tips it around the block. Had a brief lead at 8-7. Stays pretty close until the end, but Tornadoes just too much. Go back to Reeder, and she absolutely hammers that one. Tornadoes finish it early, 25-21, their win in the third.
Yeah, tough loss for the volleyball squad, but they've had a fun season so far.
Well, and they continue to battle, and I got to exchange some emails with Tia Rudzidits. Said that some of the play that they had on Saturday at their tournament in Como Park, said the best they've played as a team, really starting to get some confidence and work together as a unit and having a lot of fun doing it. They did get a couple of wins over the weekend. As a matter of fact, they finished second place at the Como Park Invitational. Started with a win over the host team from St. Paul Como Park, 17-20. Then they beat Cristo Rey Jesuit, who they had beaten at the Cardinals' place a couple weeks ago. Unfortunately, though, their run ended with a loss to Osseo, 19-18. They bounced back with a win over Forest Lake, 14-17, and then unfortunately in the championship they lose to the Orioles again, 25-21 and 25-7. But an 8-12-1 overall record, they are feeling
solid.
Pretty good about, and they've got a couple of matches this week. They're at Rockford on Tuesday. That's one circle on the calendar, very beatable. And then that's just a warm up, because on Thursday they're at home, but they're hosting Andover, and Howie,
we'll be there.
We will, and that's going to be a tough one because the Huskies will definitely bring some pressure.
Well, the swimming and diving team had just one event last week, a road trip to take on Andover on Tuesday. Cardinals continue to see their times trimmed down week after week. A duel against the Huskies gave them a chance to really showcase the improvements they've made. We start in the 50 free. Strong race for a couple of Cardinals. Tyler Schuda in a race to the wall, but it's seventh grader Myra Hill coming up in a bit at the top of your screen. That's going to get there first, and she's going to win in a time of 28.43 seconds. Junior diver Delilah Smith-Jeanette continues to have an outstanding season for the Cards. Gorgeous inward 1.5 here. Not sure, we didn't get the results unfortunately, so we didn't know what place she took, but she's been solid all year long. We talk a lot about how small this team is, but the girls they do have are exactly the type of girls you want to build around. Young, talented, with a ton of potential. Freshman Madeline Romano wins the 100 butterfly in a time of 1:15.45. Going to finish strong coming up here in the 400 freestyle relay. It starts with Shuda, just a sophomore, and the girls in the middle, well, they're doing a really good job. But senior Caitlin Davis, she's going to bring it home in second place to finish. You see the girls in the middle, a time of 4:34.30. Nice race for her, Joe, but unfortunately, we didn't get the final score, so we can't really tell you what that was, but nonetheless, strong finish for her.
Yeah, and it's you talk about the process, the building.
Absolutely.
That is definitely what Coach Schlueter and her team are doing, and they've got those pieces. That's essential, having young, talented girls that are excited to be there, and hopefully can bring some more girls in and help grow that program moving forward. Cross country team, if anybody's out there thinking, next fall I'm going to get involved in something, swimming and diving.
Perfect.
Girls swimming and diving. Boys and girls, I guarantee cross country teams would take you.
You bet.
Their numbers are down a bit as well, but they were at one of the biggest events of the year in the upper Midwest for cross country racing, and that is the Roy Griak Invitational over at the University of Minnesota. On the boys' side, I think there were like 42 or 44 teams. Cardinals finished 30th overall. Alimu was their top finisher in 83rd place. Hyatt was back in 122nd, a little under 19 minutes and 10 seconds. Burnett finished just under 20 minutes in 202nd place. I can't remember the total. I want to say is 375 as far as total individual runners. On the girls' side, a couple fewer teams, but still like 40. Girls finished in 31st. Have I mentioned this girl that runs for Coon Rapids before? I want to say we've talked about her before.
Her first name starts with an R.
Her name, she goes by the name Ruby Demmer. And
really
if we
good.
haven't mentioned her before, maybe we should start talking about her because she did it again. 5th place finish again at the GRIAC. You know, you finish 5th place, you finish top 10 at the District 11 meet. Sure, that's impressive. When you're finishing 5th overall among 300+ runners at the GRIAC, that's pretty impressive. Sinigaglia is behind her. The next finisher in 143rd. Ryland was 172nd. Legree 217th, and Sabaki in 262nd. 727 total points for the team. They are at the Cambridge Invitational on Tuesday this week. And then on, actually it's next Monday is when they do the Hoka 2 Mile, which is kind of a fun time trial they do at the stadium under the lights on Monday night. It's something that they look forward to. It's also a fundraiser as well. They've been doing that for a number of years, and I know that's one of the events that the kids really look forward to. Boys soccer team, busy last week, 3 games. We're hoping they could get out of it there with more than one win. Unfortunately, that's all they could muster. It's just it's not so much that they didn't get the wins. It's these are winnable games. These are teams that those Cardinals, they're playing so well this year. They looked at Armstrong and said, that's the team we can really knock off. They take that next step in our evolution to becoming a contender year after year in the conference. But they fall to the Falcons by a 2-1 score. Worku had the 1 goal. Landon Yang had the assist, and they fall 2-1 in that one. And the road didn't get any easier for the Cardinals on Thursday. They traveled to Goodrich Field in Anoka for a tussle with the Tornadoes. Anoka was a game over 500, Coon Rapids a game below. But both teams were looking to bounce back from 1-goal losses to conference opponents on Monday. And when the Cardinals and Tornadoes take the field, as my friend Shapiro always says, throw the records out the window. Anoka on the attack early. Charlie Fosling dancing with it in a dangerous area. He gets tripped up. He cuts back. It's inside the box, and it leads to a penalty kick. Cardinals can't believe it. Tristan McGowan gets the call for the PK. He goes right. Howard guesses wrong. Tornadoes get the wind at their backs with a 1-0 lead early. Cardinals able to answer that one, though. Tamzir Jarju with it deep in Anoka's end. He's so dangerous, so good at creating space for himself and for others. Beautiful give and go here with Adam Kitch. Jarju able to get off a great shot off the far post and in. Game is tied at 1 apiece. Unfortunately, the Cardinals weren't able to weather the storm this time, especially with the Tornadoes getting the bounces. McGowan, with speed down the wing, slides to send it toward the net. It's off the near post, off the far post, and in. His second of the game gives Anoka a 2-1 lead at the half. Free kick in the second for Noah Ammon. Cardinals converge on the ball, but can't control and clear. Pops to Noah Alquist. He turns and puts it into the wide open net. Tornadoes have a bit of breathing room. They add one more for good measure, and it's pretty. Great throw in by Ammon and a perfect header for McGowan. He completes his hat trick, and the Tornadoes blow past the Cardinals 4-1 the final in that one.
Yeah, tough loss for the guys, and I know Coach Backberg sent us an email, and he was a little disappointed that they couldn't get at least one of those 2 games in the win column. But
yeah, but in the Anoka game, I mean, McGowan's a good player. Obviously, if he's scoring 3 goals, and the header is absolutely gorgeous.
Beautiful.
You could give him that slide shot 18 to 20 times. He's going to miss that.
Yep. But not that time.
Nope. But fortunately, they did bounce back by getting not just a win, but an impressive 3-0 win over Rogers on Saturday. 1 assist each for Worku and Akasip. Yang, Girma, and Ba getting the goals. Yang also had an assist, so 1 of each. And I think that's the 3rd shutout win. It might only be the 2nd, but I think that's the 3rd shutout win of the year for the Cardinals. Let's say 2. Let's just stay with 2.
We'll go with the 2.
They're at Spring Lake Park on Tuesday this week. They host Andover on Thursday. And they will also host Forest Lake on Saturday. So a very full schedule.
Very, absolutely. Well, the girls' soccer team was supposed to have a full schedule. 3 home games last week. Unfortunately, Thursday's game with Hermantown was canceled. Still, 2 games at Cardinal Stadium, Tuesday and Saturday. First up, Park Center. The Pirates only had 1 win on the season, and they were averaging just 1 goal per game with four shutout losses. So it was a great opportunity for the Cardinals to grab a conference win. Cardinals waste absolutely no time in this one, scoring in the first minute of play. Erilyn Yang Win, weaving through the defenders down the left side, crosses to Jenica Erickson. 1-touch pass. The keeper, you're going to see coming up here, left foot. Cardinals going to lead very early. And they're going to feed off that momentum, working as a team to dominate the action. Check out this play. Great. Kaylee Stegman with a great through ball to the corner. Jenica stops it up, cuts back, sends it out front. Callie Alphen is there to blast it past the keeper. 2-0, less than 7 minutes in. We're still in the first. Yang Win flying down the wing again. She's followed from behind. Inside the box. Huge mistake for the Pirates. So that's going to bring a penalty kick for one of the team's leading scorers, and she does not miss. Cardinals up 3-0 at the half. Yang Win and Jenica's goal with assist each. They add 1 more in the second, and again they build it as a team. Stegman slips ahead to Madison Marquois. Her shot from the corner is off the keeper's hand, and Alphine is right there to finish it off. Her second caps a 4-1 victory, puts the Cards above 500 at 4-3-1.
All right, there we go.
Yeah.
Marquise.
Is it Marquois?
Yeah.
Okay.
Marquise.
Thank you for correcting me. I
A
appreciate it.
goal and an assist each. I know that was a lot. That was a lot.
It's a lot for an old guy
I
like
put
me,
too many words in that sentence. That's on me.
and you
That's
need
on
to
me.
dumb it down for me. I'm sorry. What can I say?
Well, they had Hermantown here on Thursday. Got a minute and a half into the game, and it had to be canceled due to lightning. That was a game they felt they had a good chance to get a victory in. They were hoping they could get 3 straight wins at home. Unfortunately, they have to settle for just 2 straight wins at home last week. Kelly Alphen gets both of their goals on Saturday as they beat the Delano Tigers by a 2-1 score. Cardinals 5-3-1. They are at Ricori tonight, Monday night. And then on Thursday, they will host Tartan and Howie.
We'll be there.
All right.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we will not be at the Cardinals football game either of the next 2 weeks. This week at Eastview against the Lightning, and then the following week at Park of Cottage Grove against the Wolfpack. But we do have some great stuff coming up. We have soccer doubleheader coming up on Thursday. Boys against Andover at 5, girls against Tartan at 7. Next week, volleyball on Tuesday at Centennial. And then the girls soccer team hosting the Chaska Hawks on Thursday the 2nd. That's going to do it for this edition of Sportsnight. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us and continuing to support everything we do here at CTN. To the entire crew, including Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Young, saying good night.